Three specific plumbing brands account for 80% of the fixtures professional plumbers install in their own homes, and none of these brands are the ones they recommend to paying customers. The plumbing industry operates on a two-tier system, where contractors push mid-grade consumer products to clients while installing commercial-grade equipment in their personal residences. The financial incentive is straightforward. Consumer brands pay higher margins and offer contractor rebate programs that commercial brands do not. The plumber makes $180 installing a $240 consumer faucet that will fail in 5 years, or makes $95 installing a $420 commercial faucet that will last 25 years. The choice is obvious when it is your customer's house versus your own. We are going to expose the three brands that appear in plumber homes, reveal why these brands reject the consumer market, and show you exactly how to force contractors to install professional-grade equipment despite their resistance. The industry markup structure creates the incentive to sell consumer products over commercial products. Major consumer brands like Moen, Delta, and Kohler operate contractor loyalty programs that pay rebates based on volume. A plumber who installs 100 Moen faucets per year receives a 12% rebate on all purchases, plus access to expedited warranty replacement and technical support. The rebate on $24,000 in annual faucet purchases is $2,880. This rebate income supplements the plumber's profit margin and makes consumer brands more profitable per installation than commercial brands that do not offer rebates. The commercial brands refuse to participate in rebate programs because they sell primarily to maintenance departments, facility managers, and commercial contractors who buy based on life cycle cost rather than initial price. A hospital maintenance supervisor buying faucets for 200 patient rooms does not care about a 12% rebate. He cares that the faucet will survive 15 years of continuous use without requiring replacement. The commercial brands engineer for durability and serviceability rather than aesthetics and initial cost. This makes them unattractive to residential contractors who sell based on appearance and make money on replacement cycles. Brand number one that appears in plumber homes is Chicago Faucets. This is a commercial brand founded in 1901 that manufactures faucets for hospitals, restaurants, laboratories, and industrial facilities. Chicago Faucets does not sell through Home Depot or Lowe's. They do not advertise on home improvement television. They do not sponsor design shows or partner with celebrity designers. They sell exclusively through commercial plumbing supply houses to licensed contractors and facility maintenance departments. The average homeowner has never heard of Chicago Faucets. The average plumber has 5 of them installed in his house. The engineering difference is visible in the construction method. A typical Moen or Delta residential faucet uses a cartridge valve system with plastic components, O-rings, and springs assembled in a disposable cartridge. When the cartridge wears out at 3 to 7 years, you replace the entire cartridge at $35 to $65. The faucet body is pot metal or zinc alloy that corrodes over time. The finish is decorative chrome or brushed nickel applied through electroplating that wears through to the base metal with cleaning and use. A Chicago Faucets commercial faucet uses a compression valve with a renewable seat and a replaceable washer. The valve body is forged brass. The internal components are brass or stainless steel. When the washer wears out, you replace a 50-cent washer. The valve seat can be resurfaced with a seat dressing tool if it develops grooves. The faucet is designed for complete disassembly and component-level repair. A Chicago Faucets kitchen faucet installed in 1985 is still functioning in 2026 with nothing more than periodic washer replacement and occasional valve seat dressing. The finish on Chicago Faucets is industrial chrome or brushed stainless steel applied through a heavier plating process designed to survive commercial use. The chrome on a residential Moen faucet is 0.3 to 0.5 thousandths of an inch thick. The chrome on a Chicago Faucets commercial unit is 1.2 to 1.5 thousandths of an inch thick. The thicker plating resists wear from cleaning chemicals and abrasive pads. A 20-year-old Chicago faucet still has intact chrome. A 5-year-old Moen shows brass bleeding through the worn chrome. The installation process for Chicago Faucets requires the plumber to assemble components rather than installing a pre-assembled unit. The spout, handles, valve bodies, and mounting hardware arrive as separate pieces. The plumber builds the faucet on site, which adds 30 minutes to installation time compared to a consumer faucet that installs in 20 minutes. This additional labor is why plumbers resist installing commercial faucets for customers. The longer installation reduces the number of jobs they complete per day, which reduces their daily revenue. Brand number 2 is Sloan Valve Company. Sloan manufactures flush valves for commercial toilets and urinals. Every public restroom toilet you have used operates with a Sloan flush valve. These are the chrome devices mounted on the wall or the side of the toilet that you push to flush. Sloan does not manufacture consumer toilets with tanks and fill valves. They manufacture industrial flush systems designed for 100,000 cycles without maintenance. Plumbers install Sloan flush valves in their own homes using commercial toilets from manufacturers like American Standard or Kohler, who produce commercial toilet bowls compatible with flush valve operation. The engineering advantage of a flush valve system over a tank system is elimination of the fill valve, flapper, and overflow tube that fail in tank toilets. A traditional residential toilet has a fill valve that refills the tank after flushing, a flapper that seals the flush valve opening until you activate the handle, and an overflow tube that prevents tank overflow if the fill valve fails to shut off. Each of these components is a failure point. The fill valve fails at 5 to 10 years when mineral deposits jam the valve or when the diaphragm tears. The flapper fails at 2 to 5 years when it hardens and no longer seals. The overflow tube clogs with mineral deposits if your water is hard. A Sloan flush valve has one moving part, a piston that opens when you push the handle and closes when water pressure builds. The piston contains a rubber seal that can be replaced when it wears. The entire flush valve can be rebuilt with a repair kit costing $25. A properly maintained Sloan flush valve lasts 40 to 50 years. The plumber replaces the piston seal every 15 to 20 years, and the unit continues operating. Compare this to a tank toilet where you replace the fill valve every 8 years at $35. Replace the flapper every 4 years at $15, and eventually replace the entire tank when the mounting bolts corrode through at 15 to 20 years. The installation requirement for a Sloan flush valve is adequate water pressure. Flush valves require 25 to 35 pounds per square inch of dynamic pressure at the valve to operate correctly. Most municipal water systems provide 50 to 70 pounds per square inch at the meter, which is sufficient. Homes on well systems may have insufficient pressure if the well pump is undersized or if the pressure tank setting is too low. The plumber checks the pressure before recommending a flush valve installation. If pressure is adequate, the flush valve system is superior in every metric to a tank system. Brand number 3 is Watts Water Technologies. Watts manufactures pressure regulators, backflow preventers, water hammer arresters, and expansion tanks. These are the components that protect your plumbing system from pressure damage, prevent contaminated water from entering the supply, eliminate the banging noise when you shut off faucets quickly, and accommodate thermal expansion in water heaters. Watts is the commercial-grade brand. SharkBite and Zurn are the residential equivalents sold through big box stores. Plumbers install Watts in their homes and install SharkBite for customers. The engineering difference is in the pressure regulator design. A residential SharkBite pressure regulator uses a spring-loaded diaphragm with a plastic adjustment screw. The regulator costs $45 and lasts 5 to 8 years before the spring loses tension or the diaphragm tears. A Watts commercial pressure regulator uses a heavy-duty spring, a reinforced diaphragm, and a brass adjustment mechanism. The regulator costs $180 and lasts 25 to 30 years. The Watts regulator is rebuildable with a diaphragm kit costing $30. The SharkBite is disposable. The backflow preventer comparison shows similar disparities. A residential dual-check valve backflow preventer costs $35 and provides minimal protection against backflow contamination. A Watts commercial reduced pressure backflow preventer costs $650 and provides absolute protection through a system of check valves and pressure differential chambers. The residential unit is code compliant for basic applications. The commercial unit is required for hospitals, schools, and industrial facilities where backflow contamination could cause serious health consequences. Plumbers install residential backflow preventers for customers because the $650 commercial unit requires annual testing and certification by a licensed backflow tester. This creates an ongoing expense that customers resist. The plumber avoids the argument by installing the minimum code compliant device. In their own homes, plumbers install the commercial backflow preventer because they understand that contaminated water entering the supply through backflow is a genuine health risk that the residential device does not adequately prevent. The water hammer arrestor comparison demonstrates the same pattern. Water hammer is the banging sound that occurs when you shut off a faucet quickly and the moving water slams to a stop. The shockwave travels back through the pipes and can damage valves, crack solder joints, and rupture flexible supply lines. A residential OT water hammer arrestor uses an air chamber that absorbs the shockwave. The air chamber gradually fills with water through dissolved air coming out of solution. When the air chamber fills with water, the arrestor stops functioning. The unit costs $12 and lasts 2 to 4 years before requiring replacement. A Watts commercial water hammer arrestor uses a sealed air chamber with a piston that cannot fill with water. The piston absorbs the shockwave indefinitely. The unit costs $45 and lasts the life of the plumbing system. Plumbers install the $12 residential unit for customers because replacing it every 3 years generates additional service calls and revenue. In their own homes, they install the $45 commercial unit because they do not want to crawl under their houses every 3 years to replace water hammer arrestors. The financial analysis over 25 years proves that commercial brands are cheaper despite higher initial cost. A kitchen faucet life cycle comparison shows a $240 Moen replaced 4 times over 25 years costs $960 plus $400 in labor for installations for a total of $1,360. A $420 Chicago faucets installed once costs $420 plus $120 labor for a total of $540. The Chicago faucet saves $820 over 25 years while providing better performance and requiring less maintenance. The toilet system comparison shows even larger savings. A $320 residential tank toilet replaced twice over 25 years costs $640 plus $360 in labor plus $200 in parts for fill valves and flappers over 25 years for a total of $1,200. A $580 commercial bowl with Sloan flush valve installed once costs $580 plus $150 labor, plus $50 in seal replacements over 25 years for a total of $780. The commercial system saves $420 while providing better performance and using less water per flush. The strategy to force plumbers to install commercial-grade equipment requires you to specify brands and models in writing before accepting bids. When you request quotes for plumbing work, include language stating all faucets shall be Chicago Faucets commercial grade, all flush valves shall be Sloan, all pressure regulators and backflow preventers shall be Watts commercial grade. Require the plumber to provide product specifications and model numbers with their bid. This eliminates the ability to substitute residential products during installation. Expect resistance. The plumber will argue that commercial products are overkill for residential use. They will claim the products are harder to service. They will inflate the installation cost to discourage you. Stand firm. The plumber's objections are based on their loss of rebate income and reduced future service revenue, not on legitimate technical concerns. If the plumber refuses to install commercial products, find a different plumber. Industrial and commercial plumbing contractors who work primarily on commercial buildings are accustomed to installing these products and will not resist. The plumbing industry will continue pushing consumer-grade products as long as homeowners accept that what is sold at Home Depot represents professional quality. The rebate programs and replacement cycles are too profitable to abandon voluntarily, but the products that plumbers install in their own homes reveal what they actually trust. Chicago Faucets, Sloan Valve, and Watts Water Technologies are not consumer brands. They are professional brands that reject the planned obsolescence model. Demand these brands in writing and you get the same equipment the plumber installs in his house instead of the disposable products he sells to customers who do not know better.